Soccer fans, and welcome to another edition of Onside SA, where we'll discuss our last man standing competition and obviously go through the Premiership and Championship news of the weekend. Paul and James are unfortunately away, so joining me shortly will be our UK correspondent Stevie B, where we'll go through the games for the weekend. We start off with our Dave Go Steel Construction last one standing competition, where we had our second winner. We had 6 people going through to week 10, where Andrew Jackson correctly selected Stoke City to beat West Brom, where our other competitors, namely Barry Humphrey, Ernie Wallace, Greg Larveau, Trevor Foree and Mark Curry, unfortunately went out. Andrew's a Chelsea supporter, so we'll more than likely be in contact with him next week, and we'll organise what game he would like to go to. Once again, just thanks to Dave Goss, who's the owner of Dave Go Steel Construction, and also to Full Georgia Let's Go Travel for the accommodation sponsored on the show. Our next competition will hopefully start in January, but we'll be in contact. We now go across to our UK correspondent. Stevie, are you with us this morning?
Yes, good morning, Dutch.
Hey, how's the weather there?
We've had a bit of snow, but it's not too bad, though.
Okay. Steve, you've got to start off on Harry Kane. What a magnificent achievement. You know, broke Alan Shearer's Premier League record and also the top goal scorer in Europe, or the top 5 leagues anyway.
No, I mean, exceptional. You think that he was probably a few goals behind, and back-to-back hat-tricks.
Yeah.
Just outstanding. And he makes scoring just look effortless.
Yeah, I must say, it just seems so smooth. You know, he looks up, picks the target, and he always hits the target, Steve. That's what amazes me. The other guys try and put it in the top corner. He always hits the target, and outstanding to think he scored 56 goals in 52 games, while Messi scored 54 in 64 matches, and Ronaldo scored 53 in 66 games. So a magnificent achievement. Now on to yesterday's massive news. Liverpool eventually signed a defender, Virgil van Dijk.
Well, I think it makes you wonder why Southampton didn't sell him in the summer, because he's really not been available to them. Having said that, it was quite interesting that Man City were agreeing with him last week, and I think that's actually made Liverpool decide they've got to do something about it quickly, and I suspect they've paid probably about £10 to £15 million more than they were planning to. Yeah. But ultimately, they obviously got their man. It's a world record for a defender. Yeah. Quite an astronomical fee, really, when you think about it. But, you know, maybe Klopp thinks this is the missing part of the jigsaw for them.
Yeah, you know, most Liverpool fans won't know this, but they have the best defensive record at Anfield this season, or home record, should I say. But, you know, the top 5 defenders, every one of them's in England. You know, Van Dijk obviously is a top with 75. Kyle Walker went to Man City for 54 million. Benjamin Mendy went to Man City for 52 million. David Luiz went to Chelsea for 50 million, and John Stones went to Man City for 50 million. So the figures don't just add up. But in Liverpool's case, I think the world knew that they needed a centre half. So, you know, there you go.
That's right, and that's, you know, that was the price that Southampton obviously put on his head. Yep. And Liverpool obviously prepared to pay it. And I think what's very interesting is that they've got the deal done very early.
Yes, well, I think that's the best way.
From Southampton's point of view, they need to reinvest. They really, have not been sort of playing particularly well recently. And I think they've now got that money available, and for them, if they invest some of that wisely, then they can sort of pull themselves away from the bottom. Yeah,
well, it was a 6 Southampton player that Liverpool bought. £166 million they've spent just with Southampton alone. Don't know why they didn't buy the club.
Well, you often get that. You know, some clubs often look as if they're feeders for others, and I think that Southampton weren't happy with the way that Liverpool approached the potential transfer in the summer. But I think this time it sounds as if obviously everything was done above board. You know, the clubs sort of agreed to fee, it was all done properly. Yeah. And I think it was. I'm surprised that he's gone, having sort of been dropped for the last couple of games. I think it was the surprise that the announcement came last night. Yeah. You know, which is still a few days before the transfer deadline.
Yeah. Talking about transfer deadline, what's the latest news with Swansea? I see there's mention of Gary Monk going back there.
Well, Swansea, this is very, very strange. the caretaker manager Leon Britton, after the Liverpool defeat, said that the club are in no rush to appoint a manager. They've got to want to wait for the right one to come along. Well, as things stand, they're rock bottom of the Premier League.
True.
If they're not careful, they could be cut adrift soon, and it makes you wonder then, it'd be too late for someone coming in.
Yeah.
So they look very poor in the second half at Liverpool.
Yeah. Just watching, at the moment it went 1-0, the heads dropped, and after the second one went in, I think if they were a boxer, they'd have thrown the towel in. Talking about managers under pressure, Steve, what about Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid?
Well, I think he must be. Obviously, I suspect he has got a good relationship with the chairman, but they were pretty much humiliated on Saturday. It's a very poor second half performance. They almost imploded. They sort of tried to throw everything at Barcelona. It didn't work, and got caught out. And obviously, once the second goal went in and the sending off, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's game over for Real now in La Liga.
Yeah.
They're 15 points behind. They're never going to make that up.
Yeah, I know they're gone now. What amazed me about everything is...
to concentrate on.
Yeah. Steve, sorry, what amazed me about that was their best player last season, in my opinion, was Isco. I know, Ronaldo got all the awards. He didn't even start. How they can play Kovacic before him, especially at home. It just amazed me.
Yeah. It was a very bad day for them all round.
Yeah, Jesus couldn't believe it, Just as well we had a bet that there'd be a red card, so it got us a few rand. But I think if they don't get through or don't get through the next round of the Champions League against PSG, I think he's gone.
I think you're right. I think they've obviously got one of the toughest draws. So if they go out at that stage, I think Zidane will be gone, definitely.
Yeah. Steve, on to the Premiership for the weekend. It starts tonight with Crystal Palace Arsenal. Crystal Palace, they've scored 2 goals in the last 6 league games. Can you see an upset there?
Quite possibly. I think they, after a loss there last season, that was one of the low points for them. Palace have become very hard to beat under Roy.
Yeah.
Arsenal, on the other hand, can't afford to slip up because they're just falling away. So I think it'd be an entertaining game. I think it is a difficult one to call. I still fancy Arsenal, but Palace, as I say, they've just been very hard to beat. They've got 2 defeats in about 11 games now. Yeah,
and also Arsenal away from home. They've drawn the last 2. You watch them at the Emirates and you watch them away from home. They drew at West Ham, they drew at Southampton. 2 really unconvincing performances. But Thursday night, I'm surprised it is a Thursday night. But anyway, on to the Saturday kickoff, Steve. We've got Bournemouth-Everton.
Yeah, Bournemouth, are in struggling, but they're still trying to play attractive football. Everton, by all accounts, it was a very down performance at West Brom the other day.
Yeah.
They got a draw. They're probably happy with that. I can see that being either a draw or possibly a home win.
Yeah.
Although Sam's got them playing very tight, they're not meant to be. They're not playing with much flair away from home, and I think Bournemouth have got to give it a go.
Yeah, I think this will be a high-scoring game. Bournemouth, I watched them the other night. They're Grand Prix. They don't sit back. They have a go. They're just above the relegation. I just worry about them. They've only won one of the last 7 at home. Everton don't concede many. But I think this is a game Sam may look at and think, let's have a full go here. Bournemouth are a bit dodgy at the back. But I agree, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw or Bournemouth got a result. On to our next game, Steve. We've got Chelsea against Stoke City. Surely it should be an easy victory.
I find very hard to look past Chelsea. I think Chelsea, to me, should look to win this comfortably, probably by 2 or 3 clear goals.
Yeah, I think Stoke City will score.
Get a bit of a head of steam up at home, and Stoke, they picked up a few points recently, but they're still. Defensively, I think they'd struggle at Stamford Bridge. Yeah,
can't see. Maybe they'll give Mark Hughes, their old centre forward, a goal, but it should be a comfortable victory. Then one of the key games of the weekend for me, Huddersfield Town against Burnley.
That's going to be interesting. Huddersfield has just sort of picked up a little bit of late. I started to fear for them a few weeks ago when they were having a bit of a bad run, but they've started showing a little bit of form. Won a couple of games, making them hard to beat. I think that will be close. I think there won't be more than about 1 goal in that.
Yeah, I think if ever there's a game on the weekend that could end up 0-0, it's this one. You know, Burnley was superb against Man United. And what I like about them, Steve, even when they do go behind, the fight in them is just outstanding. But, you know, this is going to be a make or break game for Huddersfield because their home form is going to be key to staying in the league, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No, as I say, they're certainly giving it a go. And I think they had a little bit more wobble a few weeks ago, but they start to show a little bit more fight, a little bit more form.
Okay. Well, then we go on to the game where I think will be an absolute humdinger. Liverpool against Leicester at Anfield. What do you think, Steve?
Well, again, I think it's hard to look past Liverpool. I mean, at home, they're showing some really good form, very good. When they're on song and they're playing some, fast attacking football. Leicester looked very poor in the second half of Watford the other day. I'd be surprised if Liverpool didn't win this by a couple of clear goals.
Yeah, it should be. I just worry about Vardy with that Liverpool back four. If ever there's a player that can get in behind them, it'll just be sit and hit it over the top. I can see this was 3-2 early on in the year. I can see a 4-1, 5-1, 4-2. I think this is going to be plenty of goals in this game, yeah?
I don't think we'll be seeing Virgil van Dijk for a little while.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I read this morning that Liverpool sent a team of doctors to assess him to see whether or not he was fit enough. It sounds as if he's not match fit at the moment, so I think it'll be probably a good few weeks before he's in the Liverpool team.
Yeah, well, I would just say I wouldn't play him. Them obviously, they've got Burnley 1st of January, so I'm sure they'll more than likely play him after the FA Cup or introduce him slowly. Then on to Newcastle-Brighton. I couldn't believe how poor Newcastle were last night at home. I know Mourinho's parked the bus.
I mean, Newcastle, it sounded as if it was closer than it was. I mean, Man City could have had a hatful in the first half. Newcastle, this is the sort of game that if Newcastle wants to get out of trouble, they need to be looking to win. I think this would be close. Again, I don't think there'd be more than 1 goal in it. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle maybe just pinch it by 1 goal.
Yeah, it just looked to me last night that they had this game more in mind. Yeah, they sat for about 70 minutes, and then only the last 20 did they really have a go. But you're right. Watford, Swansea, Steve?
Well, Swansea, to me, I mean, they're just really struggling.
Yeah.
I can't see them getting anything.
Yeah, neither can I. I think Watford, if they
seem sort of a bit rudderless at the moment. I'm not sure, they really need to get themselves sorted out managerial-wise, because obviously with the transfer window opening, if they haven't got a manager in place, then who's going to sort of, is he going to want the players that the board might want to bring in beforehand? I mean, it all sounds a bit of a mess there at the moment. Yeah,
it does look like a comfortable victory for Watford. Then we go on to my team, Man United, Southampton.
Well, I think United have just let a couple of poor results, really. I mean, they threw away the game at Leicester.
Yeah.
They somehow managed to almost throw the game away at home to Burnley.
Yeah.
But ultimately they got 2 points out of 6. I think they need to bounce back.
Yeah.
I think they will do. I think United will win by a couple of goals.
Yeah, if we can't do that at Old Trafford, I watched Southampton against Tottenham. I know Harry Kane scored the hat-trick, but once the first goal went in, they just were nowhere.
Yeah.
Then on to Sunday's game, Steve. You've got Crystal Palace, Man City. Is this number 19 for Man City?
Yeah, I mean, so it was a Man City game. Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to look past. I know Crystal Palace at home will give them a go. I think the 2 boys up front will test them at the back, but everyone seems to back off Man City. You say Man City in the way. They've won the last 18. Only a fool would back against them.
I mean, again, with City, it's hard to look beyond them in any game they play at the moment.
Yeah, no, true. And then our last Premiership game is the 6:30 game our time is West Brom against Arsenal. Now, West Brom, haven't won in the last 18 league games. Can they upset Arsenal?
Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, West Brom, under Pardew, I mean, they're not getting outplayed by people, but they're not scoring. They're not scoring, they're not winning. The longer the run goes on, I think the harder it's going to be for them. And they haven't won since August. I mean, it's a shocking run. I can't see that run ending in that match either.
Yeah, I just think what gives them a chance is the inconsistency of Arsenal. That's the only thing that's in their favour, and they're at home. And Arsenal set piece-wise aren't too clever, but with all due respect.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are, as we said, Arsenal are not showing much form away, but I think they'd probably be maybe it's a bit too strong for West Brom.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if it's a home win there.
Okay. Steve, onto the championship we go. We haven't got the betting up for the first two Friday night games. Cardiff against my boys Preston. Can you see us taking a point there?
Well, I mean, Cardiff, I mean, that was a huge shock.
Yeah.
As much as, I was willing Fulham to win at Cardiff, I think I was very pleasantly surprised by the way that we played. And the fact that Cardiff were unbeaten at home and only conceded 5 goals. I think that's sort of... So I mean, Cardiff probably will need to bounce back, but, Preston have made themselves hard to beat. I wouldn't be surprised if Preston go there and get a draw out of it.
Yeah, it would be a good result for us. On the other Friday game, we've got Millwall QPR. Is that a London derby?
Yeah, I mean, Millwall are making themselves very hard to beat at the Den.
Yeah.
They haven't won away from home, but, in recent weeks, they've beaten Middlesbrough, beaten Sheffield United and held Wolves. So it wouldn't surprise me if they win that.
Okay. Then we go on to the Saturday's games. We've got Barnsley, Reading. Barnsley haven't won in the last 9. Can they get something?
They were a very... they played at Fulham last week and they were very ordinary. But again, they're at home. Reading just having a very bad time of it at the moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's another draw.
Okay, looks like it on paper. I just think that Barnsley struggling or lurking near the bottom. They're going to have a go, so you never know, there may be goals. Then we go on to a team that's the lowest scorers in the championship, Birmingham City against Leeds.
Sorry, Bud, I just...
Birmingham City at home to Leeds United.
The sound's gone, Buzz. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, Leeds United be too strong for Birmingham?
Oh, well, Birmingham, I think, are just really having a terrible time at the moment. I mean, they've got to find a bit of form soon. I mean, otherwise they really are in a bad way. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they maybe just pick up a point, though. I think they've, it sounded as if they didn't play badly against Norwich.
Yeah.
Got caught a couple of breaks, but I might sort of give Birmingham a point there.
Yeah, I can see Leeds murdering them just on recent form. We go on to a team that are unbeaten in the last 8 home games. Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. I see Sheffield Wednesday fired the manager.
Brentford played very well the other night and beat Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Wednesday were on a terrible run, obviously parted company with their manager, and then bounced back and won 3-0 at Forest.
Yeah.
I think there's probably a draw there. I think Wednesday will be
I agree with you. Then a team I think could be the upset, Burton Albion. We saw a bit of the highlights against Leeds United where they got beat 2-1 at home. Can you see them upsetting Norwich City?
They've lost 8 in a row at home now.
Yeah.
They've picked up a couple of wins on the road, but their home record, if they don't improve that soon, then they will get slapped back into the bottom 3.
Yeah.
They're just struggling at home, whatever the reason is.
Yeah. Now Norwich, when I had a look at their form, the last 6 away games, they've won 1 and and lost 5. The only team they beat was Birmingham, who were bottom of the league.
Yeah, I mean, Birmingham, as I said, just having a terrible time at the moment.
Yeah.
They're the lowest scorers. They've scored 12 goals in 24 games.
Yeah.
I mean, that is relegation form.
Yeah. Well, you can't score, you can't win. Hull City against your beloved Fulham. Can you see another away win?
Hull, obviously, you've got a new manager, Nigel Atkins. It sounded as if they played pretty well at home to Derby the other day. It was a 0-0 draw, but it sounded as if they were on top. I wouldn't be surprised. I think, I'd be pleased with a point there. I think it's the sort of game you could get any result, but I'd be happy to take a point.
Yeah, the way you went to Cardiff and got a result, Steve, we've gone for Fulham this weekend. I think they'll be too good for Hull City. Ipswich Town against Derby County.
Yeah, I mean, Derby are playing very well. I mean, they are, firmly in the top few now. Ipswich has surprised me. They've been better this year than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
I can't see them beating Derby. I think we're either looking at a draw or an away win there.
Okay, now the team I think could sneak into the championship playoff scene is Middlesbrough. They're at home against Aston Villa.
That's a big game. And obviously it will be the first game that Tony Pulis is in charge. They had a big win at Sheffield Wednesday, and I was obviously very surprised that Gary Monk was dismissed on the evening of the win. But obviously they must have had Tony Pulis in mind because they announced him almost immediately.
Yeah.
Again, they just fallen out of the top 6.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Middlesbrough win that.
Okay. Then we go on to a team, Notts Forest against Sunderland. Sunderland can't believe they got beat again at home on the weekend.
No, I mean Sunderland had a poor result at the weekend at Sheffield United. Forest, I think, they're one of these teams. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from them. They win one week, lose the next. They were well beaten at home the other day, but I think they'll bounce back. I think this is probably going to be a home week.
Yeah. Okay, we go on the last 2 games we got, Steve. Sheffield United seems to have come back into a bit of form against struggling Bolton Wanderers.
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United had, as I say, they came back having not won in a few. I fancy them at home against Bolton. Bolton are making themselves hard to beat, but I think Sheffield United will be too strong for them.
Yeah, okay. And then the last game is obviously the 7:30 our time, which will be the 5:30 your time. Top of the league clash between Bristol City Wolves.
Yeah, I mean that's really a really good game. I mean Bristol City are the sort of along the walls of the form team. Obviously riding on a high after the cup win. I think that's probably going to be. I'd be surprised if they beat Wolves. I mean Wolves are just a bit of a juggernaut at the moment. But I think they'll give it a real go. I think I don't think Wolves will win. I think Bristol City. I think either going to be a home win or a draw there.
Okay. Steve, have you seen Paul when you're over there?
Sorry?
Have you seen Paul when he's been back?
In touch with Paul. Yeah, we've been swapping comments as the matches unfold.
Okay.
We'll be catching up New Year.
Okay. Well, Steve, thanks very much for assisting us on the show. Have a good New Year in regards to Paul when you see him.
Yeah, pleasure. And you too, and look forward to catching up next week.
All the best, Steve. Thanks again.
Cheers. Bye, Budge.
We now go on to our soccer exotics, where we start off with the Saturday Soccer 6, where I've gone 3 bankers in 3 fields. I've bankered the field with Bournemouth and Everton. I've bankered Chelsea to beat Stoke City. I've gone the field with Huddersfield and Burnley. I've bankered Liverpool to beat Leicester. I've gone the field with Newcastle, Brighton, Hove Albion looking for the upset. And I've bankered Watford to beat Swansea. That's 162 Rand. Our second soccer 6, I've gone Fulham win and draw against Hull City. I've bankered Leeds to beat Birmingham. I've gone the field with Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone Burton Albion win and draw at home against Norwich City. I've gone the field with Bristol City against Wolves, and I've banked in Manchester United against Southampton. On to our soccer 10. I've gone Everton win and draw at Bournemouth. I've gone the field with Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. I've gone Burton Albion win and draw against Norwich City. I've banked Chelsea to beat Stoke. I've gone Burnley win and draw at Huddersfield. I've banked Liverpool to beat Leicester. I've got Newcastle United win and draw at home against Brighton. I've banked Watford to beat Swansea. Gone the field with Bristol City and Wolves. And I've banked Man United to beat Southampton. That's 288 Rand. On to the Soccer 13. I've banked Man United to beat Southampton. I've got Everton win and draw at Bournemouth. I've banked Chelsea to beat Stoke. I've gone Burnley win and draw at home against Huddersfield. I've banked Liverpool to beat Leicester. Newcastle win and draw at home against Brighton. Banked Watford to beat Swansea. Banked Leeds to win at Birmingham. I've gone Sheffield Wednesday win and draw at Brentford. I've gone Fulham win and draw at Hull City. I've gone Derby win and draw at Ipswich. I've gone Middlesbrough a home win and a draw against Aston Villa. And I've gone Nottingham Forest win and draw against Sunderland. That's 409 Rand. On to our budgies bets for the weekend. Our Premiership quartet. I've gone Watford to beat Swansea City, plus over 2.5 goals in the Bournemouth, Everton and West Ham Arsenal games, and over 3.5 goals in the Liverpool versus Leicester City. Worked out at 12-1, so we took 2,400 to 200. Our Championship quad, I've got Leeds to beat Birmingham. I've gone Fulham to win at Hull City, and both teams to score in the Brentford Sheffield Wednesday and Barnsley Reading game, 3,000 to 200 Rand. Our win and draw fiver, I've gone Burnley to win and draw at Huddersfield. I've gone Burton win and draw against Norwich City. I've gone Sheffield Wednesday win and draw at Brentford in our 2 Italian games. I've gone Lazio to win or draw at Inter Milan and Udinese to win a draw at Bologna. That worked out at 10-1, so we took 2,200. Both teams to score quartet. I've gone Liverpool, Leicester, Chelsea, Stoke, Crystal Palace, Man City, and West Brom, Arsenal. 2,200 to 200. There are no Spanish games this week, so the only other international league is the Italians. So I've gone Atalanta to beat Cagliari. I've gone Torino to beat Genoa, and Sampdoria to beat Spal. And there has to be 2.5 goals, at least, total goals in each game. And the fourth bet is Juventus to score in both halves against Hellas Verona, 3,500 to 200. And our last bet is our 6 on Ixa. I've gone Liverpool to beat Leicester, Watford to beat Swansea, I've gone Leeds United to beat Birmingham, I've gone Roma to beat Sassuolo, I've gone Sampdoria to beat Spal, and I've gone Atalanta to beat Cagliari, which worked out at 70-1, so we took 3,400 to 200. That ends another edition of Onside SA. To all our viewers, have a prosperous new year, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.